Live. Grainy webcam. That's how life goes. And I go live. Oh man. Yeah, that's good enough, I guess. We are 10 seconds in. I'm Johnny Roque. You're watching the Roque Rapid Report or listening to the Roque Rapid Report. 3 R's. R. I'm going to just go live for about 30 minutes now. Thank you for listening. This is technically episode 2, but I might be able to get to episode 15 later. I'm going to talk about some things that's happening. But first off, watch me this Saturday, Echo Park. I'm a part of a live variety show. You guys want to know what happened on do you want to know what happened on 7-Eleven? Or do you want to know what happened on Funkin Funny Fridays? Or do you want to know what happened at the Nightcap when I did my show for the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights? Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights. Like I already mentioned my Saturday show. You want to know what happened with, oh my God, 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven, I'm not sure if, have you ever heard of the company 7-Eleven? It might be a small little company in your city, but they're a convenience store. 7-Eleven's a convenience store that got into my DMs. And, I was like, ooh, a big company getting into my DMs. How wonderful. And then you know what happened? They just asked, hey, can we use one of your reels? And I was like, yeah, here's my price guide if you want to use one of my reels. And they were just like, we just want to repost it for free. And I was like, why would I let you do that? Why would I ever let you do that? You're a multi-billion-dollar company and you just want to repost mine for free? Wow, thanks. It wasn't like I've done all this work on social media. I've done all this work on like making stuff to give it to you for free. Congratulations. Yeah, 7-Eleven, I want to give you all my work for free. That'd be great. No, I told them, hey, dude, if you want, we can set up a deal. You can give me some cash. That'd be cool. If you want to give me some cash, yeah, I'll give you like a usage, a rights to use my reel on your page, 7-Eleven. Or if you want to give me a gift card, I worked for a gift card. I go to 7-Eleven all the time. I'm not lying. I love 7-Eleven. I'm a fan. I go there. I go get my coffee there. I like the people that own 7-Eleven. What's up, Torta Pounder or Torta Find Dog? You got to change it, Torta Pounder. You're married now, homie. Respect your wife, dog. Now, was that 7-Eleven? I was like, hey, I need some money or I need some compensation. And they were like, no, we'll just repost you. And I'm like, why? How does that benefit me? How does 7-Eleven reposting me benefit me in any way? It doesn't. It doesn't benefit anybody. I didn't make that reel to be like, oh, I hope 7-Eleven can get some people. I made that reel for, I'm Johnny Roque. That's why I made that reel. It wasn't a point to be like, I hope one of these big companies can offer to use my product for free. I hope so. That would be great. No, it's not. It's never great. Everyone wants to be like, but the opportunity, what opportunity? This is a business. The only opportunity in this business is money. Well, there's other opportunities. But when it comes down business to business, no, 7-Eleven, I'm not going to let you come inside my business and be like, hey, I like that. Can I use that? It's 7-Eleven. Come on. The reason why, because I've been doing comedy for a very long time. And within comedy, you find entertainment things. Like there's these things. They're called bringer shows. Bringer shows, if you're a comedian or aspiring comedian, don't do them. Just don't do a bringer show. I know it's like, how else am I going to get on stage? Well, you do open mics, you produce your own shows, you become a friendly person. I don't care if it's real friendly or fake friendly. Read a book on how to become friendly, and then you get on shows that way. That's how that works. If you do a bringer show, you're kind of just setting yourself up for failure in the long. Comedy it's not an art form where you need support. No art form is where you need support. That's what makes the arts hard, not having that level of support. Like if the arts were easy, everyone would do it. Art is fun. When was the last time you did art and was like, I don't like this? No, art is fun. It's healing. You're able to like get so much out from just doing art alone. That's the greatest part. That's the greatest part. It's the hard part about doing art, sticking to it. sticking to it, making sure that you make better progress, making sure that like you're doing your own thing, making sure that when your art is bad, especially to your own standards, you're able to adjust it. That's why like, you want to come in and be like, oh, I need a supportive group. I need a group of people that are going to support. No, you don't. You kind of just need to like sit there, sit in front of a bunch of strangers, bomb a few dozen times. And then when you come back, you're just like, you know what? I don't want to say those words. I don't want to say those words. I don't want to say those words, because when you bomb, you get better. And if you don't believe if you don't believe me and you're like, no, I've seen a lot of people bomb and they never get better. That's because they don't look at it from like an athletic stance. If you look at everything you do, like if you're an athlete, I'm going to get a little bit better. Okay, this week I'm only bench pressing 45 pounds. Next week I'm a bench press 47. The week after that I'm a bench press 50. Small increments. You want to do small. If you do huge increments, wonderful. But for like a stand up as an art form, stand up as a craft, small increments. That's how you kind of get better. It takes a long time, unless you're going to do hacky material like, whoa, aren't boys and girls different? That's like, okay, cool. You're going to be able to jump leaps and bounds. Or you're going to do like hacky material like, whoa, look at those people. They look different than us. Like, okay, cool. You're going to do great in some places. You're going to do great by doing hacky standard material. But if you're going to do like your own material, if you're going to figure out your own angle on jokes that you're going to give to people, jokes you're standing on, these are good jokes no matter where I go, you're going to have to bomb a bunch of times. Because you have to craft it. You have to be like, this joke didn't really land here because, I was writing it and I thought it was funny then. And when I said it in front of people, they kind of laughed. But like, you have to go back to your blackboard and be like, where do I fix this? Where did I go wrong? Because I know I'm funny and I know I can make things funny. How do I make this funny? Like, it takes a while when you're actually a working comedian and you have to like write down your material and make sure people laugh. Make sure people have a good time and be original. Oh, it's probably one of the hardest parts about being a comedian, because you have to stand there and eat it alone. When you're standing there in front of a crowd, in front of a whole bunch of people that don't like what you just said, and you got to eat that bowl of cereal that you poured. Oh, it's so horrible when you're bombing. What do you think about grasshoppers? Boo! You're right. I don't like grasshoppers either. What do you think about lambs? Double boo! You have to just take those. You have to take those L's. It hurts. But you get better as a comedian. You get better as a performer. You get better as an artist. That's why artists, you got to be in the trenches. You kind of got to like go through all the trash that you're going through. Like when 7-Eleven jumped into my DMs and I was like, cool, you might give me money. And they're like, we're not going to give you money. Not at all. We just want to use your stuff. I'm like, that sounds terrible. Please go away from me. Please go. Well, what if it goes viral? Well, then that means you're using me to sell your Slurpees. If it goes viral, great for 7-Eleven. I'm glad like people are going to buy Slurpees because they're watching me promote your brand. Where's my money? That's where I stand with that. Like, I'm not that's why I think like Van Gogh, if you don't know, he's a painter. He's a little bit of an artist himself. He did Starry Night. It's a very famous painting. Google it. He also chopped off his own ear, and he also ended up being broke and homeless, and then he not alive at the end of his life. It was one of those things of like, wow, how did such an artist go from having so much talent to being broke and not? And Van Gogh, you know what it was? He had a price point. He had a price point that was like, nah, I know how much my art is worth. You want me to come in and take my fucking ear like that. Like Van Gogh was like, no, I'm not going to drop my price on my art. Why? Because I know what I got. You don't know what I got because you're a moron. Like, and Van Gogh, insane dude, chopped off his own ear, but he stood on his morals. He stood on the ground of like, you're not going to stop me. I'm going to make my art. I'm going to sell it for what I want. And if you don't buy it, guess what? You don't get to have my art in your house. And that's how I felt with 7-Eleven. When 7-Eleven came into my DMs and was like, let me use your reel, I was like, bro, I know what I got. I know my art. I know how much it's worth. And then they walked away. And I was like, cool, stop bugging me. Leave me alone. It's just the thing of like, as a comedian who's done this for a while, you see people trying to take advantage of you every step of the way. And that's the good thing about doing this for a while. That's the good thing about like doing stand up and like going through the procedures, meeting people, figuring out the entertainment business, figuring out how things work. You figure things out. Number one thing you should figure out fast: everyone has money. Even when they say they don't, they have money somewhere. It's your money that they're keeping in their pocket. That's how that works. 7-Eleven, you guys had enough money to break me off a little bit and use my reel. And guess what? They didn't want to. They just wanted to use my reel for free. That's all. And you know what? Some people agreed. I looked at their page. Some people were like, yeah, 7-Eleven, use my stuff for free. Not me. I was like, hey, 7-Eleven, go away. Don't ever talk to me. Please don't waste my time by coming in over here, bringing all your mess and being like, let me use your reel. We're 7-Eleven. I was like, yeah, you're big enough to give me like a gift card and some merch. Nah, not today. And I hold those values everywhere I go. I did a show earlier this week for a comic club called The Nightcap. It's a C club, and that like comedy clubs are ranked like this: A, B, C. A clubs are like the Comedy Store. B clubs are like franchise clubs, or like the club that isn't the best club, but it's a good club. And C clubs are like mom and pop clubs that give you popcorn and tell all the comics, we don't have the money this week. Sorry, we just don't have the money this week. And that's the Nightcap. Like it's ran by, I guess, some random dude. I don't really know, but I was doing a benefit show for the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights. Nobody was getting paid. There were other comics on there. There were like very funny comics. Suba, she's a very funny comic. She's one of my favorite comics. There was also who else? I forget her name. But there, the producer Christine, she was really great. She booked the show, and I got there a little late. And I recorded myself. I recorded my set. It wasn't going to be a set that I was going to post anywhere. It wasn't going to be a set that I was going to try and make money off of in any way. I just recorded it so I could see what I have to do differently. Because as a comedian, you have to record your sets. You just have to do it. You record it, and guess what? When you're watching it and you're like, I don't like this, that's the point. No one likes it. You're not supposed to enjoy. That's the process, dog. That's the process. Like you watch a little bit of it, and then guess what? You get a little bit better by saying, I shouldn't be stuttering that much. I shouldn't be moving like this. And when I went to the studio, you have to like look at yourself so you can correct yourself. So when you go and you're like, I need to make money off of this, people are like, well, you look professional at least. You may not sound professional, but you look it. Hey, Nordeep _25, stand up with Punjab. Hey, namaste, bro. Namaste. That just means hello in Hindi. That's all. I'm learning Hindi. Give me a Hindi word in the chat so I can talk to you. But yeah, you got to like kind of learn this stuff. And the best way to learn is to watch yourself. And what C clubs do, generally, this is how you know you're at a C club. They charge you for your own tape. A lot of like A, B, and club, a lot of comedy clubs won't do that. Comedy clubs would just be like, yeah, no, that's cool. I'm not going to charge them. No, take your own tape. We recorded it. This is your tape. It's your material, bro. Do what you want. But like C clubs are always like, you're going to record your set. You owe me $30. You owe me $30 if you want your set. I record it. I'm the only one that records it. And with that, it's just like, what are you doing, bro? Like if it's good, if it was a good set, I would have purchased it and been like, yo, you got better cameras than me. I'm not gonna release the set where I'm recording from the bottom up. That doesn't seem right. It just was a point where I was like, yeah, man, I had a great set. I got off stage. The guy who was running, or the manager or the owner, I don't know who he was like, hey, Johnny, did you record your set? you record your set, Johnny? And I was like, yeah, man, I did record my set. He's like, we got to talk over. And have you ever had someone do this? We got to talk over here. Just the finger aspect. Come over here. We got to talk. It's like, nah, man. Oh, I'm gonna jump on your neck. I'm gonna jump on your neck because, like, I don't know. Are you my grandma? Are you trying to call me over like a child? No, this movement is one of the most disrespectful movements you can have. The finger pointing out, bringing it to you, one of the most disrespectful things you can point. Hey, you child, come over here. And he did that to me in front of all these people, in front of a whole group of like comedy fans that I just made, people that I just did a great job in front of. Come over here. And I was like, hey man, I just recorded my set for me so that I could, like, look at it later. And he was like, no, I'm gonna need you, I'm gonna need you to delete that. I'm gonna need you to delete that. To delete my own set off of my own phone. You're gonna need me to do that? No, I walked away. And as I was walking away, the dude was like, oh, I guess you'll never be working this club again. I'm like, bro, your club is a closet. No offense. It's just not the type of club that I'm overly excited to work. You're not paying me. You didn't really give me any drinks. You didn't provide any food. You made me stand in a hot room. And now you're trying to make me pay for my own comedy set. No, I'm not going to come back. I don't care if you book me again. I don't want to perform at your club. You are a building made of bricks that has pipes that is most useful for people taking dumps in. Without me, without other comedians, you really don't have a product to sell. I heard this joke a long time ago, and it's the best joke I heard. What's the difference between a comedy club owner and a restaurant owner? Only one of them thinks they're a part of entertainment. That's how you have to think about it. Like when you go up to a comedy club owner and a restaurant owner, they're both pretty much the same thing, except the comedy club owner is just like, you need me. And in reality, once you start like producing your own shows and once you start getting like a fan base and once you start getting people to show up, nah, you don't need them. The whole point of doing comedy is that they need you. That's why you can't be a hack. That's why when like you're trying to create new material and you're like, what can I perform under? Oh, you know what? Girls and boys are different. I could do that. Oh, you know what? People of different races, that's funny. And it's like, yeah, but like you're kind of like just jumping into the same hoops that these comedy club owners can just replace you with. Like if you're doing the same hacky material that other people are doing, they're just going to replace you immediately. But if you're able to create your own type of your own like outlook, you have your own quote unquote voice, then yeah, you get your own fan base. Like having your own voice is something that a lot of people don't get when you're trying to say, I'm trying to find my voice in comedy. In reality, you're trying to find how you give what you want to talk about, what you're going to get people to come back and listen to in comedy. That's what you're trying to do in reality. You're not so much over there like, ooh, let me make sure. No, you're trying to get people to understand your brand of comedy, understand what you're doing, and be able to like tell your jokes in the way that it's a one and only experience for them to hear. That's what you're trying to do. Over namaste, namaste, namaste. And after that, I had a show, Funkin Funny Fridays. It was last Friday, 4th sold out show at the Comedy Store, 4th in a row, bro. Oh man. Oh no, the thing is, I had a bunch of followers down over in India. I had a bunch of followers in India. And then what happened was Instagram kind of like worked on my algorithm where instead of having whoever was watching me over there, they nerfed all of my all of my views at the moment. But now they're kind of growing back. That's what Instagram does. Like I had to look at it and I was like, what's going on? Oh, okay, that's what's going on. But Joe Tara -makeup, your followers are fake. Only one view on live? No, it's people come in and out. It's like right now, and I got like 40,000. Most of my followers are between the United States and India. Instagram is definitely doing something where like they're messing around with the algorithm. So I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. And like they are cutting down a lot of bots. That's the craziest thing. Like Instagram's cutting down a ton of bots. So like when I'm looking at like my follower count, I'm like, okay, cool, 44,000.7, 44,000.6, 44.65. And like some people were like, oh, that sounds like a bad thing. No, because it's still 44,000 people. There's still 44,000 people watching me. And then like cutting down the bots, that's so much better because after you cut down the bots, then like my video goes to more people that just have an actual interest in what I wanted, like what I'm presenting. Like that's the coolest thing about like social media. Social media, when you're like creating your content, have in mind that like a lot of times you're going to hit like snags of, okay, cool, these trends are happening, these trends are going to get this type of content pushed in this area, and once this content is pushed in this area, it might get dropped off. Like I had, honestly, I had 4 videos that I made this year that are up to like 60 million views, 50 million. I think one of them is like 200 million views, something crazy like that. And those 4 videos kept feeding my other videos. That's why I keep telling people when I like coach them and when I work with them for social media content, I'm like, okay, what you want to do is create a lot of content and figure out what your content is. So when you're creating that content, whoever watches funnels back into it. That's one, a little social media advice. But it's interesting to see how a lot of people will adapt to different type of trends, because once the algorithm gets updated on social media's back end, once YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever like type of social media you're using, once that gets updated on that back end, that's when things start to slow down. A lot of like creators see that. A lot of creators will see like a lot growth and then see it stagnant, growth and stagnant, growth and stagnant. And the reason is because you get to a point where like you're growing your audience and then the algorithm changes. And then you got to like fix whatever you were doing before to get back into the algorithm. That's why. Oh no, I got a mosquito bite to get, and that's why like you like it's a consistent form of having to create new content within the context of what you're trying to sell, or whatever product you're trying to promote. So that's been the craziest thing. Namaste, namaste. And again, it wasn't, dude. I don't know why. I don't know why all my content went to India. I don't know why. Like I would get, for every 5 American followers, I would get like 20 Indian followers. That's how that worked. And that is still really good. I was getting like 5 followers a day with my content from America. And then I was getting another 35 followers an hour from India. And then I realized, then like when they changed the algorithm, they're like, okay, cool. And guess what? All those Indian accounts, we're going to cut the ones that haven't been used. We're going to cut the Indian accounts that we suspect to not be real. And I was like, oh. And I was honestly a little nervous when I started seeing my follower account. I was a little nervous when I started seeing like my follower account kind of drop a bit, because I was like, oh, what if someone was playing a trick on me and somebody was just like, oh, I'm gonna boost this guy's account with all these followers, and then he can get his, because like that's a thing that you can do. If you if you really don't like someone, you can destroy their account in several ways. You can destroy their account in so many ways if you really don't like someone. And I thought that's what was happening with me. That was the scariest. I was like, oh man, am I being cyber attacked? No. But then and then like looking back at it, it's like, oh no, Instagram, TikTok, all these social media apps, they just had to like repurpose how the app talks to the user and how the users are interacting with each other. Plus, there's a lot more legalities going on, not only in the United States but throughout the world. with how social media companies can be used in different countries. So even though the algorithm in the United States is working one way for people, that algorithm in India and that algorithm in the UK and that algorithm in Mexico, it's still like it works in different ways there too. It's not all the same because the laws of the land change. And also, like, if you haven't noticed, there's a little translator button. There's a little translator button on your screen. If you like, when you upload your video, there's a little tiny translator. And if you hit that, it translates your video to like languages of the country of the people watching. And that's a new AI form, a new AI tool that you can use. And I think that's probably, and you know what? I think one of the reasons why I got big in India was, bam, racially ambiguous to robots, because white people and probably Asian people from South of Asia and North of Asia programmed these robots. And apparently I look like people who are just in that region, and people in the South America region, and the people in the North American region. I got a face that can be hired to sell anything from flatbread to pita bread to tortillas. Hire me. So I did that show. I did the Coalition for Human Immigrant Rights show at the Nightcap, and I used what I learned on that show. I used what I learned on that show to actually make myself have a better set on Friday. Because when you perform, as long as you have like a day or two or three like shows in that days, you are like, okay, cool. I got a time frame where I can do this and this and this. All right, let me rearrange and let me rewrite these jokes. And that's what I did on this whole entire week for these shows. I got an upcoming show at Ground Floor. It's this Saturday. It's a variety show. If you can make it, that'd be great. I also I have a show where I perform Monday nights. I'm a producer on the George Perez podcast. Watch us. We go live. And then on next Saturday, Echo Park, Coalition Humane Immigrant Rights variety show. It's a free show. Get your tickets. It's going to, well, or at least, yeah, I'm going to have more information in my bio. What's up, Palomari, Jess, Layla, how are you doing? Last thing before I go, I wanted to talk about I wanted to go through some jokes. This is I got a few more minutes. Thanks. I'm going to put this up on YouTube. It's going to live there. It'll probably get a few dozen views. And then I do another one on Wednesday, and then I do another one next Sunday. Thank you for watching the Roque Rapper Report. I do it live every Sunday for 30 minutes. This is my 30-minute podcast. And this is the last part of this part where I get to just tell my jokes that I wrote this week. I grew up like the water boy. Everything was the devil for some reason to my mom. Hey mom, I'm gonna go watch a movie. That's the devil. Hey mom, I'm gonna go listen to this concert. That's the devil. Hey mom, I'm gonna watch Pokemon. They're the devil. I was like, mom, all 150 Pokemon are the devil? That can't be possible. Because when you live with a religious mom and a religious dad, it's insane. You can't do anything that's going to be good enough for them when you live with a religious parents. But you also are just got to be happy that they're still there. You don't need to learn about women to talk to them. Just learn how to fix things like cars, plumbing yourself. That's one thing I learned early on. If you don't know how to talk to women, learn how to fix something. Women they're people. They have things, and their things, they break. And guess what? When their things break, you could be there. You could be the dude. You'd be like, hey, what's up? My name is Johnny. I'm Johnny Roque, and I could fix your brakes. I'm Johnny Roque, and I could fix a hole in your wall. I'm Johnny Roque, and I could fix your computer. All three things I can fix. Plus more. One more, the only ICE agent I want in my neighborhood is the Raspado man. Anybody else feel that way? I like that joke. The only ICE agent I want in my neighborhood is the Raspado man. Namaste, guys. Namaste. I got about a few more minutes here. This week, again, I'm going to be at Ground Floor in Echo Park for my variety show. Get your tickets. It's going to be a fun show. Please have a great week. Be safe. Remember, you're important. You're awesome. I think that's important to tell yourself. I think that's important to tell people that watch me because, I don't really get a lot of encouragement growing up. Like I never got a lot of encouragement doing anything in life. Anytime someone is all sad, like, oh, but what if no one really supports me? You don't need them. It's just you. It's always going to be you, and you're good enough. You're more than good enough. You're more than capable. And you're like, but what if I fail? You fail. You try again. Tomorrow's another day. I'm proud that you tried. I'm proud that you put your foot in the fire and you got burnt a little and you're like, but I can't do it because it hurts. No, you just, put some bandages on your foot, put a sock on, put a shoe on, and try it again. It's very hard. Life is very hard. And I'm very, very proud of you guys for doing your best. All right. You guys have a good night. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Later, guys. Bye. Adios. Thanks for being here. This has been Johnny Roque. You were watching the Roque Rapid Report.